Hello there, ladies. It's me again, Ebony Phoenix. Smash that like button and hit that subscribe button if you wish. And I am dropping a new one. And this one is called Social Capital because I don't think that a lot of girls and women have this type of a talk with other women. And I think it's something that's very important to know. So let's get into it. What is social capital? Oh my goodness. That is contextual. It depends on what context you want to define it in. It's hard to define. It's a concept, really, and it refers to the network of relationships among people who live and work in a particular society, enabling that society to function. Okay? And functioning social groups with a shared sense of identity, norms, understanding, trust, cooperation, and reciprocity. It's basically what helps a community move. It's what helps a community be productive. It's a measure of the value of tangible and intangible resources that impact those relationships, and how those resources impact the relationships in a way that it can positively affect one's life, and how those resources, intangible and tangible, can be used uh, to uh, to further the community. Now think about it. What does Blackistan do? Are there any resources to be seen? Nope. Are the relationships beneficial? Nope. Are the family units stable? Nope. Are the marriages stable? Nope. On and on and on. It's important. This social capital is going to be the most important assets throughout your life. You have to cultivate it. And it just depends on what context the cultivation is going to be in. And I'm going somewhere with this. And you can see it through different frameworks. Okay. Your social capital determines the amount of access to positive resources in society. Those positive resources being educational, vocational, spiritual, anything that broadens your horizons and get you places, and it can give you access to the people and the institutions that can get you places in life, and at least make your life a whole lot easier. Now, why is social capital important? Well, it determines your life choices, doesn't it? If you notice in Blackistan, a lot of the life choices are made in the here and now. It's like you're forced to make choices because you're between a rock and a hard place. Okay. Um, you're forced to make choices to help family members. You're forced to make choices to help your parents. It's what I want you to get to is a situation where you're not being forced to make grave choices that are not beneficial to you. Your life choices about hobbies. I mean, you can't have like certain hobbies in Blackistan, right? Let's say you're a camper. You like to go hiking. You like to do sports outdoors. If you're in Blackistan, just make sure no one has a gun. Just make sure no one is following you when you're jogging. That type of thing. So your hobbies, access to skating rinks, access to um, country clubs, social clubs, community centers, swimming pools, things like that. Where you live, that is a big choice, isn't it? And where you live can also have an impact on these other things. It definitely impacts your financials, your networks, what you do in life, your vocation, Your education, was it a good education? Did it prepare you? Your spiritual life, is your spiritual life sustaining you? And basically, access to potential partners that are good for you. Not marrying somebody because you feel like you have to. Understand? So social capital is a very, very important concept. I know back in the day, I don't know if they still do it. They probably do. Jack and Jill had, these cotillions and debutante balls and things like that. So they are around the right network of people. It's the same concept, but you don't have to be in Jack and Jill to do that. You don't have to be invited to do to do that for your life. That is something you can cultivate yourself. And I think this is a concept that is not passed down from mother to daughter well enough. And I mean, I knew nothing about it. I didn't realize that this was such an important thing. And it is important. Your access to all of these things that I've just listed here depends upon how much social capital you have. Now, think about it. Some people are just born with it. Okay? Um, if you're born into the right family, uh, born into a good school system, born into a supportive family, and on and on and on. If your family has some political clout, if your family name means something, or if you were born into wealth, or if you were born into a wealth of love, okay, love and support. That is very, very important. And I think sometimes more important than being born into wealth. Um, you know, so social capital is a big thing. It's basically a part of who in this society gets the benefit of the doubt, who gets the breaks. Okay? So that is why it's very, very important for you to understand this concept before you go out there and um, start your life, ladies. For this is basically for the young ladies who just don't know how important this stuff is. It's very important, and you deserve social capital just like anybody else. But if you are coming from Blackistan without the resources and without the support, social capital is more important to you than it's more important for you than somebody who was born on, in the Martha's Vineyard circle, people who were born to privilege and power. It's this, your social capital is more important to you than those people. If you are born, you know, into less fortunate circumstances, and most people in Blackistan have been. Very few are born into wealth and privilege. And, you know, wealth and privilege will buy you social capital. But if you don't have it, you can cultivate it. How do you cultivate or develop social capital? It's cultivation of, it's like a garden. It's like a garden that you tend. So let's say you're in high school, make the best grades you can, kind of have an idea of how you see yourself in life set up. Uh, it's not plans don't always work out. I understand that, and definitely that is very, very true. But not having a plan is not good either. Um, you don't want to be led by circumstances, like many of us in Blackistan often are. So, in in high school, a sport, a club, something that gets your juices flowing, something that gets your imagination flowing, your creative energy, something that really speaks to your heart. Start looking around for something that really hits you. In college, make friends with people inside and outside your major. Let's say you are a business major, okay? Hang out with some of the science people. Hang out with some of the art people, the humanities people. I'm not saying, you got to be like them, but hang out with some of those folks. It can be very beneficial in the long run sometimes. And it broadens your horizons. Okay. Don't just, so if you're a science major, just don't hang out in science building. Just, you know, go out, find those business majors. They can teach you something. Go find the pre-law people. They can teach you something that you never thought of. Join clubs. Develop those hobbies. Whether you have to decide whether you're going to be Greek or not. If you decide to be a GDI, be a GDI. GDI. Those goddamn independents. Woohoo, love those people. Get to know key professors because you're going to need letters of reference and recommendation beyond college. Okay. Do internships. Okay. Do internships. Even if it's unpaid. And you may have to have a gig on the side or something, but those internships can really get you somewhere. It can get you into the right milieu of people that you might want to know to get you to the next step in the ladder. Okay, develop hobbies, and get to know people in those different hobbies that you don't have. Um, and that can be very, very helpful for you. Meghan Markle met Harry doing some charity work. Okay, do charity work. That's great. Get to know people from different ethnicities, cultures, and religious backgrounds, and call people. A personal touch goes a long way in a world of texting and texting and texting and emailing. Okay. Um, Go to job fairs. Yes, job fairs. Go to farmers markets. I don't care if there's nothing close to you, drive to one. Go antiquing. Go to some of these old antique shops. Go to car shows. Go to gun shows. You will find some pearls there somewhere. Go to different types of concerts. Okay, you can go to classical concerts. You can go to there are the tickets to the Philharmonic in a lot of cities are heck sometimes a lot cheaper than uh, concert tickets for pop music or hip hop or R&B. You know, um, go to museums, go to art shows, that kind of stuff. Dance is a big thing for me. I love dance. You can be a patron. You can sometimes get lower price tickets if you're a patron of the arts. So, or sometimes free tickets. um, so widen your circle. That's all I'm saying. It can be very beneficial to you. Education and training, where you go and who you know. All right. Harvard people know Harvard people, okay? Uh, but Harvard people may know Cornell, Dartmouth, Brown people. Do you have to go to the Ivies? Certainly not. But where you are, make the most of it and you might want to get to know some people at the Ivies. Okay, whether you go there or not, you may want to do some interesting hobbies and go to some lectures at the Ivies. Okay, get to know people, open up. I know it's very difficult for me. I am a very introverted person, and but the reaching out can sometimes be one of the best things that you've ever done. And it would be serendipitous too. Sometimes you might not even know you're going to meet when you get to an art show or a concert. Work and study abroad, please. I don't care if it's for just a month. This can really broaden and lift your social circles. Okay? Learn a new language. Whatever language you want. And once you get pretty proficient in that language, go to that country and hang out and work and study if you want. I think that is one of the best things you can do. Look, a good reputation goes a long way. A good name goes a long way. Your reputation is very important. Please don't bring your life to work. Now, I'm sure that you've seen a lot of people, bring their life story to work. They're an open book. Everybody knows what's going on with them. Leave a little mystery in there, please. Don't overshare, okay? And be cognizant of the black girl catch 22. That is the damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you're beautiful, smart, talented, and good at your job, it can be intimidating to a lot of people. That's not your fault. That's their fault. Somebody else's intimidation is not your burden. No, Eleanor Roosevelt used to say, no one can intimidate you unless you give them permission. Hey, don't take on somebody else's bullshit. That's not your bullshit. Okay? Leave their bullshit where their bullshit be. You've got better things to do. You've got a life to live. Now, once you get the circle of acquaintances and friends, um, don't stop. Continuously add new people to your network. Some people will drop out and you will never hear from them again. And some of them you probably need to drop anyway at some point. People are there for a reason and a season. You got to figure out how long that season's going to be and what the reason is. And beware of adding X's to a network of people that you are in who are especially acquaintances. Don't do that. They can poison the waters and the well for you. They can poison your good name, and a lot of times that's how you get hired. Don't neglect your network. Did you hear me? Don't neglect your network. Sometimes put a personal touch on things. Sometimes just pick up the phone and call people. Say, hey, how you doing? The weather here in Miami is great. And where are you? Oh, man, just a little chit chat. Just to, make sure that they remember you. Because, you never know. Somebody could be at a conference or something and say, oh, I know this woman. I know this lady. She does this and that and the other thing, and maybe I could hook her up with you. And you see what I'm saying? Those kind of things will help you make a life. Those type of things you can build a life on. The trauma and drama of Blackistan has to be just far away from you. You've got better to do. You've got better to see. The main thing is remember who you are. Black woman, black girl, black lady. Remember who you are, and you are beautiful. You just got to get used to that concept that you are. And if you already know it, well, kudos for you. Keep it up. Everybody has their bad days. You are entitled to your bad days, but remember ultimately who you are. Now, a beneficial network. Everybody doesn't have to be your buddy to be of benefit to you in your network. Don't burn bridges you haven't had the chance to build yet. Do not piss people off for no reason with antics, okay? You never know who's watching you. And believe me, if you're outside of your place of residence, you're being watched. At work, you're being watched. At school, you're being watched. Let people see the best of you. Like I said before, people are in your life for reasons and seasons, and it is your job to know the reason and how long that season should be. Non-beneficial friends shouldn't be in your network anyway. I'm talking about people who just bring you down. That is not beneficial to you. Or people who always have to one-up you every minute. because they feel intimidated, or they're insecure. Um, keep the person who makes you laugh. Keep the person who brings out the best in you. Keep the person who gives you good advice. Keep the person who knows more than you. Keep the people who better your life in some kind of way. The people who can give you a new perspective. Keep those people. Like I said, like I was just saying to you, benefits can be non-tangibles. Just somebody you can have fun with and just be yourself with. Somebody who makes you laugh. Somebody who enjoys the same hobbies you do. There are people out there who can give you solid recommendations for jobs and graduate school or any type of conference or something. They can give you some good pearls in life. Take that. Um, they can introduce you to beneficial people and beneficial groups outside of what you have, and that'll make your circle even bigger. Small circles can create big problems. Okay? Okay. It's okay to hang with those who are different than you because they can really, really get you somewhere if you pick them right. Okay? Now, let's talk about racism. There's covert and overt racism, and I'm sure everybody understands what overt racism is. People burning crosses on your lawn, people getting aggressive and violent. But covert racism is usually in the form of a microaggression or somebody refusing to give you a good evaluation because you see what I'm saying? You could go above and beyond, but since you're the black woman there, we can't make you look too stellar. Now, can't that kind of thing. You can't do anything about that. That's my point. Don't hold that. Don't hold that. Don't think that there's something wrong with you. Macroaggressions are pretty much, institution-wide aggressions. Women who have this kind of hair, that we got to fire you. That is a macroaggression. A microaggression being in a boardroom or a meeting and somebody talks about, oh, black people likes, this kind of hairstyle or that kind of music. That's a microaggression. Okay, you can't do anything. That's coming from that person. It's not originating from you. Don't pick up the shit. It's not your shit to hold. Understand that a lot of folks are just racially insensitive too, due to ignorance, and it's not your job to teach them. Now, if you want to teach them and you give them a small lesson, fine, but you can find pearls in every situation. You can even learn something from racists. Heck, if you got to be around them anyway, you might as well learn something and get something out of it, right? Cultivate others from different cultures and beliefs. Um, here's my story. I learned how to quality shop watching Orthodox Jewish women. I would go to the places that they went to get leather goods, especially leather goods. Sometimes I would follow them to places where you could get designer clothes for a very cut rate. I learned how to vet men from them too. I realized that vetting for dating can only be done well if you have a good sense of self-esteem and well-developed boundaries. Your sense of identity matters, lady. It matters, girl. Your sense of identity matters before you go out and vet any dude. Also, I have a fondness for different cultures and different foods. Like Ethiopian food is my favorite. I like Polynesian food, Asian, Southeast Asian dishes, Hungarian, and Russian food. I love borscht. I am a big cabbage kid. I love some of that Russian food. And questioning your beliefs can lead to growth and spiritual awakening and depth in your life. Then you'll have a respect and a new perspective for other religions, creeds, and opinions and perspectives. That helps you increase your network and make it beneficial to you. Now, separate your emotional self and your rational self sometimes. Everyone will not understand your perspective on race and justice and all that stuff. And that's life. And that's okay. And everything that you think is pretty much a slight that you feel some kind of way about is not always racism. Sometimes it's something else. Sometimes somebody had a bad day. Sometimes somebody just don't like you. That's okay. Personalities are what they are. And like I said, keep your private life out of your network, meaning keep the water cooler talk at a minimum. Okay? So, social capital, your good name must be carefully cultivated. Carefully. Watch yourself on social media also. Okay? You don't want anything out there that you don't want to see at 50 or 60. Okay? It depends on where you go in your life. Okay? So be cognizant of what you put out there in social media and in your social interactions. So get out of your cultural bubble. That's pretty much what I'm saying. And fake it till you make it, Ladybug. And you know what? Making social capital in Blackistan is difficult because it's not the type of social capital that's really going to get you anywhere beyond Blackistan. If you get into Cornell, go. That Cornell has a name all over the world. But if you go to so and so community college, go there too, and you learn how to talk to the professors and greet people and deal with people, and then you'll get to your next level in life. Okay? You got this. You got this. All right. So Auntie Ebony will be taking a bit of a hiatus. Prom, graduation, da 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 da. College, that kind of stuff I've got to be dealing with. And it has been my pleasure to bring um, some of these podcasts to you, and I hope you got something out of them. But this is the end of my first season of podcasts, and I will be happy, 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 happy if you will join me for season 2. You got this. You got this. And I have about 32, 33 podcasts and videos up on YouTube and you are welcome to watch them and listen to them. And I would suggest that you do before we go into season 2. So love you, ladies. Take care of yourself. Think of yourself first. Take care of yourself first, and then move on with the rest of the world. Love, peace, and light to you, sweeties. Bye-bye.